Hey guys, if y'all have been following us on Facebook or Instagram, you would know that we finally got the 2UZ in its place in the 80 series. But before we go and do all that, I think it's best we have the other projects that are update for them. So we start with the Patrol. The Patrol, what we're doing is basically a dual battery relocation. So it's a 24 volt system that runs 2 batteries, and it's not just a 24 volt starter like the 80 series, but it's actually a full 24 volt vehicle, so Japan spec vehicle. So what we're doing is we are running both of them on one side so we can get a bigger airbox in here, and obviously with a 4-inch snorkel and whatnot, and just make life a lot easier for everybody. And this is the PWR cooler that we got put on. Previously it was running a set trap, but the set trap started to leak. So it started to leak after about, I say, 2 years of wheeling. How long will the PWR last? Hard to say. I mean, this car was pushed to its limit, so we will have to see. And then this one. So this is a funny story. This car, the owner came over on Saturday to have a test drive. And I mean, we used the car for a bit. We didn't use it too much because it didn't have its Protex on the windscreen. So I was like, it was a bit hard to go far. And then I thought, bring the owner over, see what are things to add on, try to test the vehicle. But guess what? As soon as the owner came, she refused to start. Yes, she refused to start. So at the end of the day, why I called the owner to come was the interior of the vehicle, which is behind the dash, which is something not that we did. Okay, so the interior was not touched by anywhere by us besides the center console. That's the only thing where we did, the center console, because the center console was butchered as the vehicle had come from an automatic to a manual, back to an automatic 12 valve, and finally now a 24 valve automatic. So yeah, so interior not done by us, but it's the wiring that's a problem. So we have to pull the dash out, and that's something I wanted the owner to give the permission to do because it was something extra. So we'll be pulling the dash out and getting that sorted so that we don't have any more problems, because as soon as the battery drains, obviously you have no, the auto gearbox goes haywire with that. But what I'm most excited about is this baby girl over here. So nothing is confirmed. We haven't started the work or anything on it. But from what I see, I love is because it's a 4-wheel drive. They call it the masterace. So check out the roof. Isn't it epic or what? So it's a 4-wheel drive, 3Y engine, gutless as hell. But so the main project was to go full on, maybe a 1KZ, maybe a 1KD. We don't know yet. It's what we can get. But obviously in a van platform, and even if I don't get to do it, I'm just so happy to be able to see something like this, because I think it's super, super cool. Yeah. Oh, but then we also have this, waiting for dyno, by the way. We got another 24 valve that joined the family, and this is super beautiful because it is a stock original chassis engine 24 valve Japan import vehicle. I mean, it looks in pretty good condition, but obviously once we checked the underneath, there was a lot of leaks underneath, and we started to do the fuel pump and the injectors, mainly because it's not performing like a 24 valve should be. The turbo looks good, I mean there's no leaks, but once we do the injectors and fuel pump, test the vehicle, then we will know. It's also having a PWR automatic transmission cooler going to be fitted on it. The Ryco cash tank will be fitted on it, and the water separator. And the last vehicle, that needs updating is this 40 series that came in. Let me see if I can on the lights. Okay. So yeah, so this came in mainly for maintenance, and we were under it and everything looks good, no dramas whatsoever. We just needed to do the I think it was a pad change. We upgraded the brake pads, and the fuel tank, the fuel pump was acting up. So those were the things that we had to do. But besides that, it's all good. And okay, finally, I'm probably gonna get some hate for this, but my 60 series has a fuel tank that looks like it was meant to be, but the die-hard Jeep fans would know from which vehicle this fuel tank came from. So since the fuel tank is in, the cage is pretty much done. I also got the radiator custom built, which is in. PWR cooler as normal, hydraulic cooler and hydraulic fan cooler, and the power steering cooler. So that's all in the front. The aircon condenser is in as well because we need aircon. So that's, I mean, pretty much the sum for the vehicles that were worked on for the week. I mean, the Jimny still needs its wiring to be put in, so that will be happening somewhere next week. But just for that, oh, I almost forgot the main guy, the 2UZ. So it's our off day, so no one's working. This, we pretty much got the cross member done for the gearbox. If you see, the original cross member would have been somewhere about here, and now we have moved it to here. It's made from 6mm. We use back the original mounts, and it has to be pretty decent because if you notice on the 80, the only cross member would have been here, and then the next one is all the way forward. So this structure is important, the one that obviously we bolted in here. We also got the engine mounts done, and I used back the original 2UZ mounts, which is massive. And like I said, you can't beat I mean, you can't beat, but you can't beat a team of engineers who decided that, hey, the 2UZ needs a massive mount. Whether it's over engineered or not doesn't matter, but I think it's definitely needed. And the biggest problem we face with this is the steering box interferes with the power steering pump, which is not a problem if you're left-hand drive, but being in Malaysia, we're not. So that's another thing we'll think about. It's either we're going to run a V-belt like how it's ran on the Patrol, so you got a pump mounted, like separated out of it, or electric pump. So that's to be seen. But anyway, that's all the update for now. Cheers guys, catch you guys soon. Thank you for watching.